Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a beach wreath. I'm going to start off with my burlap. I'm going to use a zip tie to tie it off on a crossbar to just get it started. The burlap I'm using is the 18-inch by 15 feet purchased from Walmart. Now I'm going to do 10-inch poofs, and I'm going to do 10-inch poofs all the way around the wreath frame. I wanted to show you here, I'm putting the pipe cleaner through 2 of the bars in the middle part of the wreath frame. So here I'm measuring out another 10 inches, and I'm going to use the pipe cleaner, go through the 2 middle bars, and twist tie it off. The wreath frame that I'm using is a 12-inch wreath frame I purchased from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to continue to do this until I make my way all the way around the wreath frame. I ran short on my leftover roll for the burlap, so I'm just going to start a new roll. I'm just going to zip tie it off and keep going. Okay folks, I'm on my last poof. Now I'm just going to fluff out all of my poofs. Okay, I'm going to take the last of that burlap, the end of the roll, and I'm going to zip tie it to the back of the wreath. I just want it out of the way. Now it's time to work on my sign. I am going to use cable mounts and glue. So I do use Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to put a little dab of glue at the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to put the cable mounts on top of the glue. It's just extra security for me, and then I'm going to run the pipe cleaners through the cable mounts. Once I run the pipe cleaners through the cable mounts, I'm going to put that off to the side and let the glue set up. Now it's time to work on that bow. I'm only going to do 1 loop on each side per ribbon. This is going to a young man that is near and dear to my heart, and I didn't want it to be too over the top. This denim ribbon is so good to work with. Next, I'm going to go in with, I want to say it's like a window pane. I don't know, it looked very nautical to me, and I just wanted to add it to the bow. So here, I'm just going to do 2 loops, 1 on each side, with this one. I did not dovetail this ribbon, I just left it straight. Next, I'm going to go in with this 1.5-inch ribbon. Looks like denim in the middle and then burlap on the outsides. I did purchase this from Hobby Lobby, and it's a very nice ribbon to work with. Once I have this ribbon in place in my Easy Bow Maker, I'm going to go in with a zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie it off. I'm not going to zip tie it all the way down, but I'm going to get the zip tie started. Then I'm going to add a pipe cleaner to the back of the bow. This way I have a way of attaching it to my wreath. So here I'm putting the pipe cleaner through the zip tie before I crank it all the way down. This is called breaking the bow. It's also called fluffing the bow. I'm going to get the loops and the tails exactly the way I want them. Now it's time to trim up my ribbon tails. I do dovetail the thicker ones, and then the 1.5 inch I just do at a slant. That window pane ribbon, the burlap colored one, I am going to just cut those straight. I'm not going to try to do anything fancy with them. Here I'm just trying to figure out my placement. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put the bow and where I wanted to put the sign. I am going to do very minimal things with this wreath. So I was just trying to figure it out. I knew I wanted the sign kind of off to the right and down, and the bow kind of up to the left. So here I'm just feeding the pipe cleaners through the burlap. I just want to make it to the frame. So I flip it around to the back. Now that I have the pipe cleaners all the way down to the frame, I'm going to twist tie it off, and then I'm going to tuck the extra pipe cleaners back into the burlap. Next, I'm going to work on my bow placement. Once I know exactly where I want the bow to go, I'm just going to feed the pipe cleaners down to the back, and just until I reach that frame, I'm going to flip it over, twist tie it off, and poke the pipe cleaners back into the burlap. This is where I was trying to decide if I wanted to put ribbon tails on like around the outside of the wreath frame, because it is going to a young man. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put some ribbon tails. I'm going to go ahead and do those ribbon tails. I know I want 5 of each of the ribbons that I have. I am cutting them at 12 inches each. Again, with the window pane, tan colored burlap ribbon, I'm just going to make those straight. I am not going to dovetail those ribbons. I am, however, going to dovetail the other ribbons. Now I'm going to place my ribbon tails into the wreath. I only made 5 of them. I stacked them on each other, and I'm just going to place them in the pipe cleaners, every other pipe cleaner, all the way around the wreath. I do place the ribbon tails underneath the sign, even though you don't see them when you're looking at it straight on. If someone is looking at the wreath from the side, they're still going to see those ribbons. Next, I'm going to go through the whole wreath frame, and I'm going to trim up every single pipe cleaner. Once I trim them up, I'm going to kind of bend them down and tuck them back into the burlap. As I'm doing this, I'm also fluffing out my ribbon tails. Okay, folks, I have a bag of shells that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I know I want to place them in each ribbon bundle that I placed on the wreath. So I'm just going to put some glue down on the pipe cleaner and the ribbon, and I'm going to place the shell in the middle of that ribbon. All right, now I'm going to show you, which I never really show you this, but I'm going to show you how I cover up my mechanics on the back. I have the smaller burlap roll from Walmart, and what I do is I just kind of go around the frame on the back side and zip tie it in place. I just do not want my mechanics to be shown. Once I get to the end, I'm going to trim that off, and then I go back in with zip ties for the extra burlap that's kind of hanging in the middle there, and you'll see what I'm doing. So here I trim off the extra burlap. Now I'm going to go in to the middle part of the wreath frame. So I'm going to the inner ring, and I'm just going to zip tie the extra burlap, and I kind of fold it over in the corners. I just want to cover up my mechanics. Once I trim off all the zip ties, I'm going to take the zip ties and I'm going to tuck them back into the wreath. I don't want to damage a door, and this young man is going into an apartment, so he needs his security deposit back. Okay, so now he needs a hook. So I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, I'm going to feed it through the burlap, and once I do that, I'm going to twist tie it off at the base. But then I'm also going to create a hook and then twist tie the two pipe cleaners on each other. So I'm going to create a hook by twist tying them together. Okay, folks, this is my completed project. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.